Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Bimal Master. I'm the Chief Mentor for IMS Mumbai, and I welcome you to this special webinar titled Artificial Intelligence in Business Management. It's conducted by SPJIMR, one of the leading B schools of India. So before we get into the actual topic, allow me to just give you a little bit of information on the institute. So Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's SPJIMR Institute of Management and Research is a leading school of management in the heart of India's financial center, Mumbai. SPJIMR is a part of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and functions as an autonomous institute with entrepreneurial agility. It consistently ranks amongst the top 10 management institutes in India. Inaugurated way back in 1981 by the then British Prime Minister, the late Honorable Margaret Thatcher, SPJIMR's mission is to influence practice and promote value-based growth. It builds on this mission through pedagogic innovations and pioneering programs, carving a distinctive path in management education. The Institute has acquired the reputation of meeting societal needs of undermanaged sectors by offering unique, purposeful, and relevant initiatives. More than 1,000 participants from diverse backgrounds are enrolled at any given time across a range of management programs offered by SPJIMR. The Institute has been awarded accreditation by the prestigious AACSB International, the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. SPJIMR is a constituent unit of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, India's premier non-profit institute that has for over 7 decades worked in the cause of education and for preserving and promoting India's rich cultural heritage. The Bhavan was founded in 1938 by Kulpati Dr. K.M. Munshi with the blessings of Mahatma Gandhi and the active support of several eminent leaders like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Sri Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, and many other scholars and eminent professionals. Coming to our speaker for today, our eminent speaker is Dr. Anil Vishnu Vaidya, currently the professor and area head in the information management discipline at SPJIMR. Dr. Vaidya has had a long and illustrious career in academia as well as industry. Prior to SPJIMR, Dr. Vaidya was the director at Symbiosis Center for Information Technology, SCIT, in Pune, responsible for overseeing admissions and placements, besides, of course, academic rigor and research. Before that, he has worked in various corporates such as Philips as the Global HR Director, in Park Davis, Bennett Coleman, and Garware Paints. So today, Dr. Vaidya will be talking to you about the role of artificial intelligence in business management. The key takeaways from today's session will be, firstly, introduction to AI, that is artificial intelligence. Second, importance of artificial intelligence in business. And third, application of artificial intelligence across different business functions. Right? So without any further ado, Dr. Vaidya, it's wonderful to have you with us today. Guys, before I invite Dr. Vaidya to address you, let me remind you that towards the end of the session, he'll be answering any questions that you may have for him. So feel free to type out your questions in the Q&A box, and we will try our best to answer as many questions as we can accommodate. Please do not use the chat box to ask questions. Only post your questions on the Q&A box. All right. So, Dr. Vaidya, may I now request you to address our listeners.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Professor Master, for such a nice introduction, both the institute as well as myself and the topic. Good evening, everybody. Good to see all of you here. Let me get directly into topic. Let me share my screen and we get into topic directly. That's much quicker. I guess you can see my screen. Am I right, everybody?
Yes, we can.
Great. Artificial intelligence in business management. Let me start giving what we want to do here today. Three major areas. One is that introduction, what is AI? Second part, its relevance to the business. And that is much more exhibited when you look at the applications actually across different business functions. That's much simpler. So number 2 and number 3 points are almost related to each other, because that's how you really realize how the AI really helps in the business. So we'll go through all the three. And as Professor Master said, please go ahead, ask questions. We'll try and answer as many as we can. First part, look at the word intelligence. When you start looking at that word intelligence, and there are many definitions of that, and look at the some of these higher level abilities, ability to learn, emotional knowledge, the creativity, adaptation, the people who, for example, create music, people who sing, we say they are intelligent. People who learn languages, we say they are intelligent. People who can understand the roads and remember the telephone numbers, we say they are intelligent. If you start looking at these are different ways of looking at what is intelligence. And that's why even the second bullet point, which says that the mental ability is necessary for adaptation as well as shaping and selection environment. How do you behave in a particular environment? That also is intelligence. For example, the pandemic has been a great example. We suddenly changed, the whole life completely changed. How did we do it? How did we adapt to it? That also would be referred as intelligence. Now, if you want to look at this way, intelligence, the way we want to look at in the artificial way, in the computer sense, look at the way it is done there. And again, here there are many descriptions. Now, the artificial intelligence as a term was coined in 1956, almost how many? 60, 70 years ago. And still we never used it for so many years. Simple reason was that we didn't have the right kind of hardware and software to back it up. Today we have both. Today we have right kind of hardware, we have right kind of software. So we use this term very normally nowadays, artificial intelligence. Now, if you look at one of the ways of looking at what is artificial intelligence, the theory and development of computer systems able to perform normally requiring human intelligence. What is normal human intelligence? Visual perception, seeing, understanding what the image says, speech recognition, understanding what somebody else says, decision making. Simple, while crossing the road, will you cross the road right away? Will you wait for the vehicles to go in this direction, that direction? Simple decision making processes, translation between languages, various ways in which the artificial intelligence also has been defined. That means something that we see so normally for us and so easily that we can do it, we believe that a computer should also be able to do. And that's what is artificial. That's the word artificial being added over there. Look at this one more. AI refers to multiple technologies working in tandem to allow machines to sense, learn, understand, act to augment human capabilities. If you look at it this way, then that's about the sensing, learning, understanding, acting. There's just one particular point before we go a little further. Look at the very first bullet point, which says branch of computer science concerned with making computers behave like humans. Now, this is a very critical, behave like humans. Now, little difficult actually. You know why the difficulty? We are not exactly rational being. Computer is very rational. And its irrationality is far more difficult to do. However, I'll leave it out for the time being, but this was the definition that was coined quite some time ago. But look at what Microsoft says. Microsoft says, if you look at it this way, pursuing computer advances to create intelligent machines, that complement human reasoning. Complement human reasoning. Now, if you start looking at this kind of definitions coming from different companies who work on that, you really say that these are talking about people that are going to help us doing something more. And that's why they say enrich our experience and competencies. So it's not about replacement, it's about helping us doing more. Look at the SAS. The SAS is one of those big companies that also does the same thing. Machines to learn from experience. It's possible for the machines to learn from experience. That's why we learn actually. Human beings also learn from experience. For example, a little child, a very little child, for the first time, when such a child experiences a hot tea, a cup of hot tea, touches it for the first time. Second time, it doesn't do that. The child doesn't do it for the second time. It has learned from the experience. If she knows fire, it will not go and put his hand in the fire. It won't do that. So learning from experience has been very normal for the humans. Now we are saying, can computers do it? Computers should do it. And that's what we try and do that. And that's why there are many different ways of doing it now. Self-driving cars is something that is known. Tesla is something known. But that's the overall thing, how the AI has been defined. Something, a computer that can work like a human being. Understand, take decisions, make knowledge out of it. All that part is really AI aspect. Why is it so important for the business? Why is it important for the business? Look at the environment. In fact, in today's days, in fact, these world, the pandemic days, regulators are changing, the government agencies, and they keep on coming up with new things all the time. Customers are changing our expectations and tests. Simple example, the customers would go to the shop in the earlier. Today, he wants the items to be delivered at his home place. And that too with the tests that he wants really. And I'll look at the tests also, come back later on, later. Competition. The startups and technology-oriented big companies. There are big competitors who are coming up. Who are they? The Amazon guys, the Googles, the Microsoft. The big guys are coming up and getting into the technology-oriented big companies. Now, payment, for example, which is supposed to be the banking area, is picked up by Amazon. So there's a huge change that's happening in the world. Second part of that, and that means you have strategies must change, operations must change. But look at the last point. That also means when you change your strategies, when you change your operations, one needs a faster, quicker, more accurate decisions and plus efficient process. That means you want to make your strategies better. You also want better operations. You also want better operations. That's where the AI starts coming in. So what does AI and pandemic was one thing that I was talking about. So that's the externality that has come in from nowhere really today. So how does the business help? How is the AI helping business actually? Saving time and money by automating it, optimizing the routine process and tasks. So simple processes it can take up just like that. Increase productivity, operational efficiencies. We look at something in the manufacturing later on. Faster decision making, cognitive technologies. Should a banker give a loan to a person who is asking for it? It's a big decision. Can this man become a defaulter? Can he become defaulter tomorrow? In that case, I don't want to extend him a loan. Can AI help there? Yeah, of course it can. Use of insight to predict customer preferences. And that means you're talking about now the marketing part. Vast amount of data, identify and maximize sales opportunities. Can you identify where is my big next sales opportunity? Whom can I sell? How do I have a new customer segment that can help me out? So businesses, almost every function you will see that there is an AI coming into picture. And I'm going to get into the applications now and connect back to the applications what I'm saying. So start thinking about those ideas. Let me start with the first one. Marketing, customer engagement, entertainment, e-com, media, all of these different things. And those are the ones which are very strong on marketing. Let me show you a couple of examples, right? In marketing, customer engagement, which is a very heavy management process. Look at Netflix. Probably everybody knows what Netflix is. Today, the revenue is $25 billion. But look at the growth on the left-hand side. They have grown so beautifully and consistently they have grown. Pandemic or no pandemic, they have been growing. Other company had struggled in pandemic. Netflix kept growing. In fact, Netflix grew a little better in pandemic, maybe you can say. And that's a growth of financial, that's a revenue increases. So today they're in the range of $25 billion last year, 2021. Look at the share price. Share price is a good barometer in terms of how world sees the Netflix and the price is ever increasing. Look at the price here in 2016 and look at the price in 2020. 2022, that is current price. It is really going up consistently, $541, and from just about 5 years. It indicates how people look at Netflix, and Netflix has been a great user of artificial intelligence. I'll show you some of the examples, and they are in operations really. Why does Netflix do so well? I will show you some of those examples beautifully. And this is a business example where the artificial intelligence has helped company to do great. Let me show you some examples here. Look at the wordings on the left-hand side. What is a recommendation engine? If you look at it, for example, it says because you watch Good Witch. So it found what I had seen last time. Good Witch was one of those examples, one of those whatever serials or whatever it was. And then it keeps that remember that watch it again. And that means it knows that I had watched Parmanu and other things earlier. Talkpiece for Andy. So it gives me recommendations in terms of how does it do that? If you start looking at it, because I watch Andy, watch it again, big. Now think about it. There is a somebody, something, an AI engine that is remembering all this and making good recommendation. Netflix recommendation engine has been completely AI based engine and very strong engine. It stores information what he has watched. So anytime you switch on the Netflix, and probably it is connected to the profile and to the login ID, it knows what you have watched. It connects to the similar other programs. How does it do? And that's why it recommends more programs, creating new artwork. Now this is very, very important. Creates a new artwork for every new program. For the same program, different people, and you will find different artwork created. Now look at the personalization. That's why the word personalization. Customer wants it to be personalized. Netflix is a great example of personalization. Great example of personalization. How does it do it? And look at the box on the right hand side first. Look at the box on the right hand side first. And look at the second statement. Estimated that 80% of Netflix viewership activity is driven by personalized recommendations. And if you do that, their cost is much lower. They have very efficient system in place. If whatever they recommend, 80% of us are watching that, then obviously Netflix is doing great, outstanding, outstanding. How does it do it? It combines various methods. And these are examples like the method called as content-based filtering, collaboration filtering, hybrid, and they combine such kind of systems so beautifully. What have you done in the past? Who are the other people who are watching similar ones? And then it comes out with recommendation. Very strong AI-based engine. Very strong AI-based engine. Look at another nice example of personalization. And this is again marketing area, right? Again, marketing area. Suppose you have been normally buying books. Suppose you have been normally buying books, and then suddenly one day you bought a watch. Next time, should Amazon show you, or Flipkart show you a watch ad, or should it show a book ad? And that means website has to determine whether a particular purchase is an outlier or was it a normal buying behavior. Depending on that, the right kind of promotional ad should be shown. Which ad should be shown, whether a wristwatch ad or the book ad? So normally if I am buying books, it should keep showing me book ads. And I may buy a wristwatch at one point of time, I buy a jewelry item at one point of time, but that's a one single point of time. System can know this. System can understand this. E-com sites are using a left, right, center. That's called as personalization. That's why online sales and promotion. So promotion really comes through these ads. What are they promoting? The books or this one? And it's not about promotion. It depends on what I have done in the past. Depends on what I have done in the past. Content generation, media. One nice example. AI can write stories for journalists now. Journalists do not have to write their full story. For example, sport stories, the weather stories, these kind of things journalists can do themselves. The AI can do. AI can do. Social media stories are generated by AI. We believe that WhatsApp comes up with so many jokes. Where does it come from? Somebody has been writing it. AI helps there. AI helps there. So think of the media using this very, very strongly. The textual visual matter from social media is extracted to get insight into individuals. That means people can know their behavior pattern. The systems knows behavior pattern. They know likes and dislikes. They know emotions. All this is in the media area. So some examples on the marketing side. Let me go HR processes. Let me give you some examples on managing hiring. Let's see whether I can show you this. One nice example. Can a computer hire its own? Let me see whether this can be run. There is a car which can recruit its own people, its own engineers. And Volvo came out with this idea. That means it can conduct interview on its own. A machine, a car, a computer can conduct interview on its own. Now, whenever you have time, take a look at this. There's a nice video available on the internet. It's called Volvo's recruiting car. If you want, you can do it later on separately, guys. Important part here really to understand is that sourcing, human resource sourcing is an important aspect. And think of the numbers. I'm giving some examples here. TCS plans to hire 78,000 people in one single year. That's a live mint last year, October 8. That was news item. Infosys plans to hire 35,000. If you are hiring 78,000 people or 35,000 people, how many resumes are you going to look at? So many resumes to be looked at, humanly it's impossible. You need a system to do this. You need a system to do this. AI helps us there. AI can scan the resume today, and a system which can do the internal sourcing, which can do the external sourcing. That means if people have submitted resumes, system can see how the resumes can be looked at and how do you match the job descriptions. Wonderful. How does it do it? Can it also go back and take a, today LinkedIn has become a recruiting portal in a way. That means people look at your profile and decide whether you are a right person for the job, and then they give you a call. How does system do that? System actually can match. Today AI can match job descriptions with the candidate profile very easily. It can easily do this. A system which can do the job description, candidate profile, and you need to train the model for doing this. The AI model has to be trained. The intelligent text analytics with appropriate algorithms on the core of the system. So this is called a supervised machine learning. So you need to train the system to do this, and system can easily do this. So 78,000 people you want to recruit, you'll probably look at maybe a few lakhs of resumes. Humanly impossible to read all of them. Let system do it. That's what system has been doing. So the MAM process of hiring can be done so beautifully. How does it look at it? And if you look at it, system is able to figure out your experience of relevance, your education background relevance, the skill relevance, competencies relevance. It actually can do this and rank resumes. It can rank resumes so that interviews can be conducted. Today, AI, the HR processes of sourcing people or appointing people, interviewing people can go through the system so beautifully. Yeah, another nice example, and these are examples where the Talent Recruit is one of those companies that actually can do this. It's a regular software available which can source with AI, mitigate bias, talent management, all of that can really happen. ABC consultants saying that artificial intelligence for recruitment has become very, very common, and they are saying they are doing it. ABC Consult, one of the big companies in India, and they do the recruitment. A big company which is doing recruitment for some major companies, and they say so many processes they can be easily handled through the AI part. So AI has become very, very critical in the recruitment, in the interviews. You just saw the examples. I'll skip this slide. Let's go to food tech. Now these are the industries that we know, right? You know the Netflix, you know the TCS, you know now Swiggy, for example. Swiggy is a fine example. Now we call it as a food tech industry. We don't call it as delivery system. We call it as food tech. If you remember, we also use the word fintech, we use the word health tech, we use the word insure tech. Why? These industries have changed the way they work. The industries have changed the way they work. And food tech is a nice example. Swiggy is one of the best examples. What is Swiggy example? Let me give some numbers for you. And I gave you numbers on the resume side or the recruitment side. Let me give you numbers here. Think of the scale of business. Swiggy in a day handles 14 lakh orders per day. 14 lakhs orders every single day, all over India. How many cities? 500 cities. 5,000 employees. 2 lakh plus delivery executives, the delivery boys that you have. Look at the scale. Humanly impossible to manage this. And today, when you ask for a Swiggy, a particular food item, Swiggy delivers the item in the, and they also specify 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. They specify the time. How do they know all this? And they do it almost immediately the moment the order is placed. Immediately the order is placed. This is not possible without computers. AI systems. The Swiggy was the first one to start using artificial intelligence and machine learning for doing this work. And Swiggy has been, that's why it's called as food tech industry, and rather than the food delivery company. And look at what does it do? On demand food delivery platform. What does it do? Deliver within specific time. Delivery with, so if they are specified 30 minutes, it will give you in 30 minutes. They show the restaurants, and if you remember, the restaurants also keep changing. Why? The restaurants that are capable to serve you within the given time. Within the given time, they do it in the real time, guys. In the real time, maximizing earnings for so they want the delivery executives to earn, and to that extent, they actually try and maximize the earnings of delivery executives. That means what are they monitoring all the time? Customer requirements, restaurants, vendors' ability, and delivery executives' ability. They keep at the same time, they keep an eye on the reviews. What are people saying? Are they saying something about the good food, bad food? So do they connect it back to the restaurant? They run at least 8 or 10 ML models in real time for every single order that you place. In fraction of seconds, the models run and they come up and give you the restaurant, the food possibility, the amount of time, all that happens. This is exactly what they do on the Amazon AWS. They work on the AWS completely. Very, very strong system. What are they doing? Demand prediction. They also try and give restaurant demand prediction. How much will the demand next day? Customer gets a personalized experience because they're showing the restaurants and food that customer would like. You remember the recommendation I talked about the Netflix. Here also they actually recommend you the food that you like. So it's an excellent recommendation engine that comes in. And the variables such as time of the day. For example, morning you order something and you order at lunchtime, you order at the snack time, let's say 4 o'clock. You might see different restaurants being shown to you. It depends on location of customer, previous order, customer affordability. Customer affordability, you will not show the restaurant of, let's say, a 5-star restaurant right away. If they normally, they know that you are not buying something at a very high price. Change of lifestyle. Look at all this. All this is done in real time running ML models. Machine learning models. Machine learning, AI and machine learning, they go hand in hand really. At the back end of every AI system, there's a machine learning model. And that model works at the front end to give you the decisions, which we call as AI. So this is, Swiggy is one terrific example. Zomato has been falling in the line. The Domino's has been falling in line. So everybody wants the same thing to be done. Let me give you something on the retail, and then probably I'll open up for the questions also. There are some examples here really. Retail backend processes such as replenishment, demand forecasting, market analysis have been known for a long time. These things have been done regularly in the retail. But now front end, customer facing processes also are coming in. What does it mean? The backend process was really talking about what is my demand. Then how do you replenish? Market analysis talks about which items go hand in hand together. And that is about market basket analysis. For example, if you're buying milk, are you likely to buy sugar also? Are you likely to buy tea also? Because they may go together. That's a thought of market basket analysis. System can do this beautifully. But that's a back-end process. Now look at the front-end processes. Some of the outstanding processes. Look at Amazon Go. Amazon Go says, you just walk in the store, pick up the item that you want, and just walk out. No checkout. You don't have a cashier to pay the money. You walk in the store, nobody looks at you. There's no human being around probably. Pick up the item that you want, put it in your bag, and just walk out. As simple as that. How does system do that? System has computer vision. System is monitoring you all the time the moment you enter there. It knows who you are. It knows who you are. Just think about what I'm saying. All this is computer vision is typical example of AI. Deep learning is a concept behind it. Just walk out. They call it a just walk out technology. They call it a just walk out technology. That means just automatically detects which products are taken, who has taken, and they charge your card right away. They charge your card right away. You don't have to give anything at all. There is no cashier. There is nobody who can check you out. Just walk out. It's called as Amazon Go. And Amazon Go has been doing this now. They introduced in 2016. All you need to do is that look at the last word. When you're done shopping, the third bullet point, when you're done shopping, you can just leave the store. And you'll get a receipt and the charge your Amazon account. No issues, no lines, no checkout. Seriously, this is what they're saying. They're available on the Amazon.com. And now they are ready to sell this system to the others. Amazon is ready to sell this system to the others. Further development, they open more and more stores. But this is something interesting now. Both these stores are cashierless and cashless because you're not paying anything, right? It charged to your card. There's no cashier also there. And then interesting development happened. Some of the citizens in US complained that all customers do not have card. That means they can't use this system as it is. this system as it is. So what have they done? The backlash resulted in some states having negative views of cashless. Amazon accepting cash. So now Amazon is putting some cash also in some stores. So Amazon, which is completely an online system, now has some physical stores also, which has a facility to do complete walkout technology, as they call. But now they're also having some cashiers in some places. Very interesting development. Very interesting. But look at in India. Is it all over in India? Of course there is. Of course there is. There's a shop here, and it says that look, the shop is called as Watsal, Watsal app. And again, they are saying exactly the same thing. You just walk in there, pick up an item. This is, I think, this is in Hyderabad. And they're saying this is just go there, scan, get out, and you'll be charged. No problem at all. So in India also somebody is doing it now, guys. So you could see this as the next development in the front end. So I said earlier, the back end, which is the demand forecasting, which is about the replenishment, about the market basket analysis. And here I'm saying the front end. Customers have just walk away. Just walk away, pick up the items and walk away. That's what they're showing there. These are the kind of stores that are coming up very, very strongly now. Let me show you one last part, and then I'll open for the games. Now, all of you, some of these are as closer to your heart. I'm sure the Swiggy is close to you, the Netflix is close to you, the games are also close to you. Let me show you one game. How large is the gaming industry? How large is the gaming industry? Gaming industry is huge, huge. And look at the second bullet point. Mobile gaming market generated estimated income of $77 billion. This is the business part of it. Now look at not the sport, the business. $77 billion, which is completely mobile gaming. And here there are some other numbers also, 85 billion and all that. But interesting, it's a huge game. You would know the Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go. I don't know how many of you ever played the Pokemon Go, but this was one of the most popular games that actually came in. And AI does everything from improving. Look at this wording here. AI helps in everything from improving the aesthetics of the Pokemon characters in the game itself to making them more accessible to players all over the world. Particularly important for the Pokemon Go game. And Pokemon Go was great success. Where is the business success of Pokemon Go? The company which actually launched it, the name was Niantic Lab, a very small company which was hardly ever known. Niantic Lab. And the Pokemon characters belong to Nintendo. Suddenly, these guys became famous by that one single game. And look at here, they made money. They minted money, $1.2 billion in revenues. How many downloads? 752 million downloads. Nobody would have imagined a game can be downloaded. 752 million downloads. 752 million downloads. And flat 6 days. I don't have it here. Flat 6 days. There was a huge number that was getting downloaded. Niantic made huge money out of this. I don't want to go any further, but Pokemon again is a wonderful thing that, okay, let me show you last one, and I think a couple of minutes and then I'll close because then I'll open for the manufacturing. How do you do the AI in manufacturing? Think of a machine vision in smart factories. Think of putting on a camera like this on your conveyor belt. Now, what is it? There are two parts. One is the camera. This part is the camera. At the back end, there is an artificial intelligence model. It's working in the real time. So camera picks up a picture, sees it's a defective product, or it can be done for sorting as well, or it can sort out the items. So at that speed, in the real time, the AI can tell the camera, the system, whether this particular product that is coming out is a defective product, is a good product. In that case, what kind of product? In that case, it can be diverted on the conveyor belt at the speed at which it moves. Is called as inside vision system. This is one example of the manufacturing. Something outstanding. I'll not go any further. I will stop sharing here for the time being. And if you have questions, I think that's much better to address some questions. Is that right, Professor Master? Is that okay?
But unfortunately, as Dr. Vaidya mentioned, we have run out of time, so that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you once again, Dr. Vaidya, for a very illuminating session. I'm sure it has been of immense value to our students. Right? So thank you for taking out time from your schedule and addressing our students. Right. So so guys, that's all that we have for today. Thank you for joining us, and stay safe, stay home as much as possible. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Great to know you, Professor Master, and maybe we'll catch up again sometime.
Sure, of course.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
sir. Thank you.
Take care.